Hello, shalom everyone. God bless you all. I pray you all had a lovely, blessed day today. So it's about to rain. So if you hear any background noise, we're under a thunderstorm threat of some sort. And like 2 days ago, we had a tornado that was in one of the neighborhoods close by. It was really fast, like mighty gushing wind type of weather that just came and went. But we were out of power for about 2 hours and finally came back on. And so it looks like the same scenario going on, but I pray that it's not in Jesus' name. So this message is not for everyone. And I've held on to it for a couple of weeks, maybe a little bit longer than I should have. But I just wanted to gather my thoughts to see what God was really, wanting to say through this message, because it was obvious after I had this experience that I needed to share this with someone. And this will definitely help someone. So like I said, this word is not for everyone, but so your helpers, your divine helpers are coming, but be aware. Be aware of the counterfeit, because they are definitely going to come before the real deal comes, okay? So this experience I had, it's been about a month and a half, almost 2 months ago now. So this individual that I used to work in ministry with, let's backtrack just a little bit. So I moved from the Midwest, from the suburbs of Chicago to the South, which is Alabama, where I live. I've been here for like 15 years now. So this was back in 2008 that I moved down here, me and my family. And so I prayed. When I got down here, I prayed for like 2 straight years for God to use me, to send me where He wanted me to go, not where I wanted to go, but for His will to be accomplished in my life. I wanted Him to place me in the place, the building, the worship building, or the church building that He wanted me to, serve the church, to be there, to be a servant. And so that's what I prayed for the next 2 years. And then after 2 years, He answered that prayer. So I kept running into this individual, like several places. And I kept running into them. Probably by the 4th or 5th time, I ran into this individual the last time. So I walked through the door and he says, okay, it looks like we have our Sunday school teacher. And then I said, oh, okay, God, you just answered my prayer. So I was like, wow, He answered my prayer finally. And to make a long story short, probably that Friday or Saturday that I ran into him again. So he invited me to a family and friends lunch or dinner day, whatever you want to call it, at church that Sunday. And so I accepted the invitation. Me and my daughter went. I met, a lot of people, in the ministry there at church. And so this was a Baptist church. So I never grew up in a Baptist church. So when God answered my prayer, you really don't know where God is going to send you. He'll send you where He wants you to go, where He feels it's needed. And that's exactly what happened. So I answered the call. And to my surprise, I did not know He was going to send me to a Baptist church, but He did. So to make a long story short, they recruited me very quickly as a Sunday school teacher. They've been praying, I guess, and their prayers were answered as well. They didn't even give me a background check. See, this is God. With God, you don't need a background check. He'll just place you where He sees fit, and you just have that favor. And that's exactly what happened. So moving along. So I ended up quickly being a Sunday school teacher. I even worked with the infants. I was just all over the place, from ages infancy, fifth grade, ages 5, all the way up until age 18. Sunday school, Bible study. That's what I taught. And with this gentleman, sometimes in the same room with him, other times we had events that we held for the youth, because it was a big youth ministry. And during those 2 years that I was praying, when I moved down here, God was showing me big visions and dreams of big buses and things pertaining to, youth ministry. I didn't know at the time that that's what that meant, but He quickly gave me the revelation about it. And so it was a big youth ministry. And so we did everything from plays to events to community things for the youth, just everything, you name it. So, one day I'm sitting there and we had like some kind of sports event, like basketball for the youth that particular day. So I was sitting on the bleachers and a gentleman came up, which was his friend. He recruited him into the ministry as well. So how many of you know when you're working in ministry with a lot of people, you're going to get acquainted with each other. You're going to get to know each other. You're working together as a team to serve the Lord. And so that's what happened. So the guy came over and started talking to me. And basically the whole thing blew up in my face because the guy, the minister guy, the one that invited me, I didn't know I was in a relationship and didn't even know it. I mean, I dated the man. We went on several dates. And so he got jealous because the guy was talking to me. And he put all the blame on me, and it just blew up in my face. I thought, you got to be kidding me, Lord. I thought you sent me. I knew you sent me over here. So what is going on? So it wasn't really about him. It was about what God was doing. Despite what goes on in your life, when God has a plan, you can have all this stuff in between that doesn't, it doesn't amount to piddly squats, because if God sent you, he sent you, no matter what else is going on. So to make a long story short, it blew up in my face. He got angry with me. He said some things. And so basically we parted ways in the ministry. So I went down another avenue, working with the director, which is a lady that I worked very closely under. And she took me under her wings. And I was basically at her beck and call in the ministry, serving the children and the youth under her direction. And he was doing some other things with the youth down another avenue in the same ministry. So, to make a long story short, I didn't do anything wrong. There was nothing I took fault in because I didn't do anything wrong. So I just basically allowed God to use me and continue on. So a lady comes into the ministry. Her kids, they relocated from out of state somewhere. She comes in. And he quickly takes a liking to her. He recruits her into the ministry. She comes into the ministry. There's infatuation. There's lust going on. Guys just started showing me a bunch of things going on with him after that one little battle, that day that thing exploded in my face. God started showing me all these things about him. Basically exposure time. And so they got, involved with each other in a relationship, sexual relationship. I had no sexual ties with this man. We were just dating and we were serving the Lord in the ministry. God did at one point consider this man for a future, but he quickly disqualified him. So what happened next? So he got kicked out of the ministry. He got into it with some other minister. He got kicked out. I kept on going. I kept doing what God asked me to do. I stuck around probably for another 6 months or so, almost another year, and until God released me. So that was back from like 2012 all the way to like 2016, 15, 16, somewhere around there. And so then after that, what happened was, so just a month ago, I ran into the guy. And we're in the parking lot. I'm just happened to run into him, said hi. He comes over and he wants to know if I have a boyfriend. He wants to know what I'm doing. He was like, Jackie, you were so faithful. You were so faithful in the ministry. And I was extremely faithful to God. It didn't have anything to do with him, but he was just used as a vehicle he was used by God to recruit me, to get me in there through the door, to accomplish God's will. And so basically he wanted to know what I was doing. He wanted to recruit me again. He offered me everything on a silver platter, $50,000 a year to go with him and work with the youth this summer. And I'm just looking like, and I thought about all the betrayal. The betrayal was harsh. It was so harsh, people. I can't even go into it. But I thought, no, there's no way. I can't go backwards. The betrayal was just too much. And so, watch out for the counterfeits. I don't know who this word is for, but it's for someone. The counterfeit is going to come before the real deal, before what God has for you, who God has for you is for you. And the devil will try to come in, but it's your job to be alert, be vigilant, be very vigilant and aware of the counterfeit, because they're coming. They're going to offer you everything under the sun. But then what really got me, one of the red flags was, okay, let's connect, but let's connect on he said, let's connect on social media. And that was another red flag. If you're about God's business, God is definitely going to have you connect with them, maybe over lunch, over the phone. You have something to hide if you just want to connect on it. And let's see where this thing goes. No, we're not going to see where this thing goes. So just be careful, people. Be vigilant, be prayerful, because you don't want to miss out on what God has for you, because what he has for you is for you. So just be careful. God bless you. Shalom.